This platform might look quiet right now, but purpose doesn't need permission. Sometimes the smallest voices are trusted with the biggest stories. I don't got it all, that's why I pray. I lift the names when I can't find words to say. Small but mighty, walking by faith. If I can't change it all, I still believe change can start today. I don't got it all, that's why I pray. For the lost, the missing, led astray. This platform's small, but God's not contained. And we never ever know what love can do once it's shared. I'm not rich in numbers, not loud on the screen, but every case I cover got weight in between. Faces on flyers, names people forget. I speak them out loud so they're never silenced. Yet I don't chase clout, I chase truth. Every live stream feels like a prayer in the booth. For the mom still waiting, the dad still searching, for the families hurting while the world keeps turning. They say, what can one voice redo? But I've seen hope rise when a community moves. So I show up steady, even when it's heavy, trusting God with the parts I can't carry. Got it all, that's why I pray. I lift the names when I can't find words to say. Small but mighty, walking by faith. If I can't change it all, I still believe change can start today. I don't got it all, that's why I pray. For the lost, the missing, led astray. This platform's small, but God's not contained. And we never know what love can do once it's shared. Every time I go live, I ask one thing: send prayers up higher than algorithms, because awareness is good, but faith goes further, and prayer reaches places we never could. I don't promise answers, I promise care. A space where compassion still lives right here. Victim-focused, truth-driven, heart-led, always standing in the gap on the hardest days. If you're watching this tide, scared or alone, I hope you feel seen through the screen in your home, because God hears whispers, not just the loud, and He's working right now, even in the crowd. So we pray for the missing. Every single time we pray for the answers in God's perfect time. Small seeds planted, faith multiplied. Miracles don't need a spotlight. I don't got it all, that's why I pray. Still believing God's moving, even today. Small but mighty, called by name. And I trust what He's doing even when I can't see the way. This is Mo and Cole. Say a prayer for the missing. Say a prayer for their families. And before you go, say your prayers. Take your vitamins. And remember, even something small can do really big things.
Hey guys, how are we today? I'm so glad to see you all. It's been a little bit. How are you, Angel Eyes? Welcome. And Aaron, how are you? And Elizabeth, always good to see you. And Music City Mom, how are you guys? I you guys won't. All the cases that I speak about, there's always some connections, and in this case, remember I've been speaking about Jadarius Manyweather, and he was the little bitty. Remember, he's a little bitty fella that was that went missing in Baton Rouge down that way, and unfortunately, remember, somebody was arrested and charged with his murder, although he hasn't been found yet. It was 50-year-old Maurice Parms. And today they're going to start the unfortunately, and I hate even talking about this. I hate that we even have to talk about it. But for the last 2 weeks, they've been planning how to search the landfill down there. That's where they believe that he is. So that did start today. And but you guys, he was last seen on the morning of June the 5th. Remember, way up in the morning? And he was reported missing on June the 6th. And Brooke, that we're going to talk about today, she was murdered on June the 6th. So it is, I didn't even notice that until this morning when I was going over my notes for Jadarius. Hey, CRE, how are you? Good to see you. It's always good to see you guys. And it didn't even hit me until I was going back over my notes that it was the same day. And if you guys think about it, we did 2 live streams about Jadarius, and we learned so much. Think of all that's happened during that time. And in Brooke's case, they didn't even speak. She was murdered on June the 6th. On the 13th, they they asked for help in a Facebook post. I'll show you guys. But they didn't even release her name. They didn't even release her name until the end of June. So it's just such a difference, you know? And the experts are saying that it could be because that they aren't asking for help, that it could be because they are, and they're not putting out a lot of information because law enforcement already has so much, you know? But on the other hand, it's been, what, 6 weeks now? And that's why my title is the way that it is, because there's been no press conferences or anything like that, and no arrests, no persons of interest, no anything like that. And speaking of my title, in my description and my ticker across the bottom, and I also made a community post yesterday where all of the help numbers are. So if you guys know anything, please, please, please speak up about it. Her little daughter, she had her daughter will be 1, you know, this month without her mama, her only child. And bless her, bless her. They need our prayers, you guys. But first, I wanted to show you, just refresh our memories about Jadarius a little bit while we begin, because you guys remember at the press conference that they watched, they were talking about how dangerous a search like this is. And I live in the holler in Kentucky, right? And it's been 90 in the 90s, but the real feel has been like in the hundreds. And so it's even more south than where I'm at, you know, and so it's even hotter, and they have to wear all that protective gear, you know. And so the searchers, they need our prayers too, and his family, because I just can't remember, we saw his mama and his mom and dad on the news too, and it's just broke their heart. I think that he was the only child, and I just can't even imagine. Like, I'm sure, I don't ever say closure because I don't think there can be closure in these situations, but I say resolution, and I'm sure that they want a resolution to be able to give their son a respectable burial, you know. But then, probably in the back of their mind, they're hoping that they don't find anything either, you know, because it probably wouldn't make it real if they didn't. So, yeah. Um, oh, you are Angel Eyes. Yeah. Mm-mm. Okay, I'll show you guys this video about a little bit about what they're going to be about Jadarius before we get started about Brooke today. And you guys let me know if my sound works, because it hadn't been working this way. And so I might have to go another way for it, for the sound to work.
After weeks of uncertainty, tomorrow police investigators hope to begin what could be the end of the search for 15-year-old Jadarius Manyweather tomorrow. Manyweather went missing back in early June. Officials believe his body may now be located in the Baton Rouge landfill, where tomorrow around dawn, Police are set to begin using heavy equipment and high-tech tools in an effort to locate him. News 2's Haley Jefferson joins us with the latest.
Sarah Gray, tomorrow a multi-agency search will begin, carefully removing piles of garbage at the North landfill, trying to find the body.
I think that it's working, right, guys? Because I listened on my phone. But the this landfill that they're searching, it's 400 acres, but they have narrowed it down to where they believe, and they're not just looking for him; they're also looking for evidence. They've narrowed it down to a half acre, and but 1,600 tons of waste gets deposited at this landfill, and 325 trucks every single day. But thankfully they haven't been letting any more around the area that they're interested in. Hey Doodlebug, so good to see you. So very good to see you. How are you?
Of Jadarius Manyweather. It's been more than a month since Jadarius Manyweather disappeared from the ghost town area of Baton Rouge. Since then, his family, law enforcement, and the United Cajun Navy have searched through wooded areas and near waterways, trying to find him.
We won't stop until he's found one way or the other. We'll continue our social media blast. We'll continue communicating with the parents and the family and the community. We want to find this young man.
2 weeks after Manyweather was reported missing, Baton Rouge police arrested 51-year-old Morris County, charging him with first-degree murder in connection to Manyweather's death. Not long after Palm's arrest,
That dude, he's 50 years old and way bigger than Jadarius was 15, but he only weighed 98 pounds. Remember, and about 5 feet tall, if I remember correctly. It's been a few weeks now. But a big man like that. And also, remember, he was standing up for his friend. He had that little friend girl that was 16, I believe, and he didn't appreciate their relationship, and so he was letting it be known. And then it's alleged that Maurice beat little Jadarius to death and discarded him. Oh, it makes me so mad, you guys. And then also, he's not helping the police in any way to help find him. He's not giving any statements or anything.
Mayor Sid Edwards and BRPD announced that the evidence collected led them to believe Manyweather's body may be located in the North landfill. Police say the evidence shows Parms may have put Manyweather's body in a local dumpster.
Investigators believe that Jadarius was picked up on a collection route and taken to the North landfill, which is where we are now all working together on a massive operation to find his remains.
On Monday, after spending some weeks planning, police have scheduled to begin a massive search for Manyweather's body. The North landfill receives 1,600 tons of solid waste each day and sits at over 400 acres. But police say they have narrowed their search down to a half acre and have halted any new garbage dumping in that area. The FBI will join Baton Rouge Fire Department in assisting the search.
Think back when the Twin Towers collapsed. Days after, you watch people going through hand by hand, item through item, to try to identify anything. That is the kind of situation that these men and women are going to encounter when we start this operation.
Because of the logistics and amount of garbage that needs to be moved, officials have said the search could take days or longer.
And they also called in the FBI. You guys, the FBI has this specialized unit for searches like this in landfills. And how sad is it that they have, they have the Internet Crimes Against Children unit, and they have the CARD unit for child abductions and stuff like that. And then they also have a specialized unit for landfill searches. How sad is that they actually have to have that?
The search is expected to begin around 6 in the morning. No timeline yet on when the search will end tomorrow. Sarah Gray.
And it did start this morning. I saw a a little blurb about it on the 9 a.m. news, and they said that it did start today. So I wanted to mention that to you guys so we could remember to keep the searchers and his family and everybody, and the mayor and Josh from the Cajun Navy, so we could keep all of them in our prayers, you guys, because I just can't imagine in the weather like it is. Bless their hearts. Bless them, bless them. Doodlebook says, thank goodness they invited the FBI. Yeah, thank goodness for that. A lot of times we know that law enforcement, they have these contests of their egos, and they don't when they should, you know. Okay, so now I want to tell you guys about Brooke Hanlon. She was 35 years old. Let me pull up my folder here. She was 35 years old, and she is a licensed professional counselor. And this happened in New Jersey. So I don't know if they're called different things in New Jersey and other places, but that's what they called it here, a licensed professional counselor. And she went to, she is from the place where she ended up being murdered at, Chester, New Jersey. But she graduated with a bachelor's degree in psychology from Wake Forest in 2013. And this is one of her roommates back then, Jennifer Payne. And she got her master's degree in counseling and psychology at Northeastern University in Boston in 2015. And remember I told you guys that this case, like, hardly anything is coming out. Like, the 911 call just came out a few days ago. They didn't even release her name until 2 weeks later. 3 weeks altogether after she was murdered, they released her name. So not many friends have stepped forward. This is one of them, Jennifer Payne. And then there was one other one that I wanted to tell you guys about. So she has been practicing. I'll show you guys her LinkedIn and stuff too, since 2015. And this is James Connor Hanlon. And I have been following her case, since they released her name. And I saw that, and the first thing that I saw about her case actually was the Daily Mail. And we know how they are. Sometimes they can be, days they can be trusted, and some days not so much. Hey, Dutchie, how are you? So good to see you. But they had the husband's name listed as Connor, and then a big channel on Facebook, they had it listed as James. And so I asked them what the mix-up could be, like who Connor was, and they said the Daily Mail's wrong and didn't give me any help. And I was like, okay, but come to find out it's James Connor. So if you guys see that, that's him. And they were married in 2021. And this is when she got married. That's all her bridesmaids, I believe. And absolutely beautiful, beautiful girl. And so they decided to move back to where she was from. She met him when she was in college in Boston. And Jennifer, remember her roommate that I just showed you guys? And this is her sister, Paige. She's spoken out a little bitty bit, but not a whole lot, which is fine. I've told you guys that just because family members decide to speak or not, that's absolutely their prerogative, and we can't judge them for it, But her sister did say that that they don't want to, and this is her baby, you guys, they don't want to jeopardize the investigation by saying anything. So they got married in 2021, and they moved back to Chester, New Jersey in 2023. They bought their house in 2024, and then they had their baby 2025, a little girl. And this was Christmas 2025. And you guys, she'll turn 1 this July, this month, without her mama. Bless her. Bless her, bless her. Angel Eyes, it's active. It's active. They don't have any arrests or persons of interest or anything yet. So this was their house that they bought. And I'll go back and show you guys that in a little bit. I found this stuff from a website called My Resource, MI Resource, and it says and it helps you find counselors in your area. And it says, providing a warm, supportive, and non judgmental environment, Brooke Hanlon is a licensed mental health counselor in New Jersey who has been in clinical practice since 2015. She facilitates a collaborative space where children, teenagers, families, and adults can work together to achieve their personal goals. So she treats about all ages, juveniles through adults. And it says her therapeutic style is relational and strengths based, often incorporating empathy and humor while providing necessary feedback and challenging cognitive patterns or behaviors when suitable. Brooke assists her clients in exploring their unique identities and gaining a deeper understanding of how their specific life experiences has shaped their present selves. And then it tells about her educational history, like I told you guys. And it tells what kind cognitive behavioral therapy, commitment therapy, and parenting skills training. And then this right here, based in Bernardsville, she also addresses complex situations including court-ordered treatment, legal matters, disability paperwork, parental custody issues, workers' compensation, and support for those recently discharged from psychiatric hospitals. So that kind of got me because we have to think that possibly one of her patients is the suspect, you know? So we have to look at all of that too. Oh, Dutchie, well, that's nice. That's so nice that your mama's going to be around. Let's see here. So this tells all the age groups and what I just read you guys basically. And then this is her LinkedIn, and that tells about the same things. But I wanted to show you guys this right here, that she volunteered for Habitat for Humanity, and then also she worked at a church, and she was a teacher's aide for little bitty children. So that tells a lot about the type of person that she was too, you know. And this is all of her assets that she can bring to her job. And then this tells some about her work history. So these down here are in Boston, and then when she moved back to 2023 is when she moved back to Chester, and she worked at this place called Life Stance. And as soon as it happened, they scrubbed her from their website, but they did make a statement. Let me see if I can find it. No. I try so hard to get my life organized, you guys, but I have a rough time sometimes. Okay, here it is. It says, we are deeply saddened at the passing of our teammate, Brooke Hanlon. Brooke was a beloved member of our Bernardsville team and an exceptional therapist who was highly dedicated to her clients. Our thoughts and deepest sympathies are with Brooke's family and friends during this difficult time. And I saw a few articles that said that Connor, that he works in construction, a pretty big construction place. So now we're getting to the bad times, you guys. Well, let me read you guys remember I showed you guys Jennifer up here, her roommate for Boston. She had a few things to say, and so I'll share that with you guys too. And then we'll get to what happened. Okay. And she says, I hope she was not miserable toward the end of things, said Jennifer Payne, a close friend and former roommate of slain New Jersey therapist Brooke Hanlon. Payne told Fox News she's known Hanlon since 2013. The two became very close friends while attending graduate school together at Northeastern University. They also were roommates for a few years in Boston. And her friend didn't even learn about Brooke's death until it was in the news, and a news outlet contacted her. It says Payne learned about the death of her longtime friend when a news outlet called her weeks after investigators made their discovery. So how sad would that be? And it says, speaking about the limited release of information in the case, Payne said the whole complexity of it all not knowing keeps you on bated breath all the times. Payne's painful loss of her friend brings back numerous memories, including their post-grad trip to Europe. While Brooke and her husband Connor were dating, Payne said the group often hung out together, and sometimes Connor's family members would join. The Hanlon family is from Boston's Brighton neighborhood. And Fox News, Connor is staying at a house in Boston right now, I believe, and they do have a video of him taking out the trash, and it makes me sad because if he is totally just a victim in all of this, having to deal with the loss of your love and your child's mother, and then everybody looking at your every move too. It says he has not been charged with any crime or wrongdoing. And then there was the also the Daily Mail. I told you guys that was the first thing that came out that I saw about this case. I'll show you guys that too, but we have to remember that you have to take everything from the Daily Mail with a grain of salt, but they have been doing good lately. Everything has been coming out to be true. So, and what I wanted to show you guys was what they said a little bit more about her life and Connor. It says her bio at LifeStance, a website for therapists and psychiatrists in nearby Bernardsville, was scrubbed not long after her death, and the person who answered the phone said there was no one who could comment about her. It said neighbors said they saw much more of Connor than his wife. Hanlon's family has been tight-lipped about her death. Her younger sister, Paige Haggerty, broke her silence on Wednesday with an Instagram tribute that read, Jesus replied, I promise that today you will be with me in paradise. I will see you again in paradise, sister. Rest in the sweetest peace, Brooke. Aww. Friends, meanwhile, were shocked to hear of her death since no one had notified them. I have the chills, Catherine Tang, 46, who knew the couple for years when they were regulars at her diner in Brighton, Massachusetts, said. This is a complete shock, Tane added. They were a cute couple. I knew them as far back as 2018. There was nothing about them that would make me think something like this would happen to Brooke. Jennifer Payne, and that's who we saw the pictures of her with, and her roommate, it says, who met Brooke at Northeastern in 2013 and was her close friend and roommate for several years in Boston, told the Daily Mail that she was sweet and great at her job, but she never liked Connor. He used to flake on her a lot. He wasn't reliable, Payne said. I even said to her once, I think you could do better, but she wanted to get married, and I think she was invested in him. She did not have great self-esteem. His personality was blah, and he didn't seem to have much motivation or ambition. I always felt Brooke could have done better, but I never saw him act violent or aggressive to her or anyone else. So these two friends have spoken out, and her sister has said a little bit too, but that's really the only people that have said anything so far. Oh, and this is what the neighbors said. It said that the cops were stationed outside the home 24/7 for at least 2 weeks after Hanlon's body was discovered. And then after the Daily Mail came, detectives started coming back around again. And a neighbor is saying, at first they told us there was no danger to the public, but detectives are still coming around asking questions 2 weeks later. Nothing else makes sense. Why aren't they telling us anything? And I don't blame them. They haven't said that it's been a targeted attack, so the public isn't at risk or anything like that, like they do usually say. You know, her dad said something too. So this is talking about her dad. It says Haggerty was a top general counsel for drug companies, including Mylan and Aventus, said his entire family was devastated by the tragedy, but even he refused to go into specifics about his daughter's demise. He was cagey too when asked for the location of his 36-year-old son-in-law. And then they said that the baby was fine. That's another thing. Was the baby there? This was a Saturday when it happened at 4:30 p.m. And so that happened on June the 6th. And then I'll show you guys the post so we can see a little bit more. Let me get us back. Oh, her dad also said, it's hard to put in words what a wonderful woman and mother she was, her heartbroken father, Joseph Haggerty, said when the Daily Mail visited his $1.6 million estate just 10 minutes away. She was remarkable in every way. She was also very, very good at her job. She was a child therapist and really helped people. So I saw a lot of that. Everybody said that she was wonderful at her job. Absolutely wonderful. So now let me show you guys a little bit through the timeline of what happened. So the first thing that came out was right here. So remember I told you that that she was murdered on June the 6th, and on June 13th, the Morris County Prosecutor's Office put this out, but it doesn't even say her name. It says, in the late afternoon of June 6th, EMS and Chester Township Police officers responded to a 911 call at a residence on Pottersville Road. A 35-year-old residence, that's all they refer to her as, was found dead in the home. An examination by the Morris County Medical Examiner's Office determined the cause of death to be multiple sharp force injuries and the manner of death as homicide. This remains an active and ongoing investigation by the Morris County Prosecutor's Office. And then they tell all of the names and the resource numbers that I have in my description too. So they come out with this on the 13th, but they still don't name her. And then on the 1st, I believe July the 1st, they are offering a $1,000 reward. And it says, are seeking the public's assistance with providing any information concerning the death of Brooke Hanlon or suspicious activity observed in the area of Pottersville Road, Chester, New Jersey. And so just a few days ago, they finally released the and this what I wanted to show you guys. In that article that I just read you, this part was taken out of it. And I found this screenshot on a streamer, Not With Ping, I think was his name. And I found this screenshot. And it was taken out of the article by the time I got to it, though. But I did find other references to it. And this is what her sister said that was taken out. Speaking about the possibility of Hanlon being a suspect, Haggerty said it's a homicide, and there are a lot of details that my family and I don't know, and a lot that we can't comment on publicly. As much as I'd like to scream from the rooftops about how I feel, I have to protect the integrity of the case. So I thought that was interesting that it would be removed. And why such all the secrecy? You know, there's so much secrecy around this case, and the experts say that it could be because law enforcement already has really what they need to solve the case and they don't need any help. But if that's the case, why are they taking so long? You know? So now I'll show you guys the the 911 call, and it came out just a few days ago. Just 1 second, let me find it. And trigger warning, because it is very, very upsetting. And it was under secrecy who made the 911 call. And it just came out a few days ago that it was Connor. It was Connor who made the 911 call. Let me see here, just 1 second. Okay, let me come back and get you guys. So big warning, because it's very upsetting, like I said. And something else to remember is this call was made at 4:29, and within 12 minutes from the CAD notes, that the dispatchers type in, "Hey, Neat, so good to see you." That's okay. I'm glad you're here now. We're fixing to play the 911 call, and we didn't know that it was her husband that made the 911 call until just a few days ago. So over a month and a week since she was murdered. And the CAD note. So the call started at 4:29 p.m. and by 12 minutes later, the dispatcher had put into the note suspicious death. And so that says a whole lot in my opinion too.
911 operator 484. What's the address of the emergency?
339 Pottersville Road, Tustin, New Jersey.
Okay, bear with me one moment.
Oh my God! I need an ambulance.
Okay, it's 339 Pottersville Road in Chester Township. Is that correct?
Chester Township.
Okay, is there a floor apartment, a room number? Is this a private home?
A private home. Yes. Yes.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened. I know you said your wife is bloody.
I just found my wife. I don't know what to do. CPR. I need CPR. Just instructions.
He said that he just found his wife. So, obviously that tells us that he wasn't home at the time when it happened. And it is going to say that she was found upstairs. So I'll show you guys the outside of her house that I took a few photos from a realtor website. And I'm not sharing the photos of the inside because I still feel weird about that, like it's an invasion of privacy. But I don't care to show you guys the outside because you can see and we don't know if there was a forced entry or if anything was stolen or if her child was there. We don't know any of this.
Okay, she's not breathing or conscious?
Oh my God! There's a laceration in her
Okay, sir, bear with me one moment.
And one of the other videos I watched, he just said first he asked for CPR help, and then he says, "Oh my God, there's a laceration in her breast." And so some people thought that it was weird that he used that terminology, laceration. So that's just something to think about too.
We're getting help there. Just stay on the line and need some more information, okay?
I don't know if there's blood. I need you here. I need you here immediately.
Yes, sir. So she is bleeding and she's not conscious. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
All right, sir. All right, the paramedics have been sent. Just stay on the line.
Yeah. What?
If,
No.
if there's a defibrillator available, send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it, sir.
No, I don't have one. I don't have
Not available? Okay.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what.
Okay, please put your phone on speaker so your hands are free to help her, sir.
It's on speaker. It's on speaker. It's not moving, Brooke. No, please.
Okay.
No, please. No,
Bear with me one moment.
No.
All right, listen carefully, and I'll tell you how to do chest compression, sir. Place the heel of your hand on the breastbone in the center of the chest, right between the nipples.
There's a cut. That's where there's a cut.
I'm sorry, what was that, sir?
There's blood everywhere.
Okay, can you place the heel of your hand on the breastbone in the center of the chest, right?
And of course, we don't know if they just said the manner of death was homicide with multiple. Did they say multiple lacerations? I can't remember, but they don't have a murder weapon, and so we don't know if it. A lot of times, you know how they say overkill, which means that it's personal, so it's somebody that she knew. We don't know about that, and also I went on Google Earth, and I quote unquote drove down the street, and everybody is saying that this was a I forget how they worded it, but I can't think of the word, but where there's not a lot of houses nearby. And I don't know if it's just because I'm from the holler or what, but when I drove down the street, there were houses on both sides, but there was woods in between, but not like a whole lot. It looked like maybe half a football field, maybe, if that, between the houses on both sides. So it does seem like, they might still have ring footage or camera footage or something like that. And in my opinion, I think you would be able to hear somebody if she yelled. So I don't think it's that far away like everybody is saying,
Between the nipples and put the other hand on top of that.
Yep.
Okay? All right, pump the chest hard and fast, at least twice per second and 2 inches deep. Okay, let the chest come all the way up between pumps. We're going to do this 600 times or until help can take over. Okay, count out loud so I can count with you, okay?
1,
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, sir. You're doing great. We're going to do this 600 times or until help can take over, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Help is on the way, sir. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, try and take a deep breath, sir. Try and take a deep breath, sir. Hello, sir.
Hey, Brett, good to see you. And Aaron, so good to see you too. We are listening to the 911 call of when Brooke was murdered. And I'll tell you guys right quick. She was murdered on June the 6th this year. And on June the 13th, the prosecutor's office from that county, they asked for help in a Facebook post, and they said a resident. They did a 35-year-old resident, so they didn't even give her name. Her name wasn't released until towards the end of the month in June. On July the 1st is when they the county put out her name and offered a $1,000 reward. And a lot of people, this county is I saw in one video they said there's about 8,000 residents and that the median income was $250,000. This home was $550,000. So this is a very affluent place in my opinion, and they could offer a lot more, which is another reason why the experts are saying that they probably know a whole lot more than they're letting out, because they don't need a lot of the public's help. And so just a few days ago, I believe it was the 10th, is when the 911 call came out and we learned it's her husband, that they've been married since 2021, and they had their baby in they bought this house in 2024, and then they had their baby in 2025. And so we're listening to the 911 call now. And I know that we shouldn't judge you guys, and her husband doesn't have any criminal record, and he's not been charged with anything. And but like, we listen to these things, and sometimes we can hear, like, about that little Javea girl recently. When I heard her mama on that 911 call, it just hit me like something is off, something is wrong, but on this one, it doesn't feel disingenuous. Like, I can feel his terror. So I don't, I do believe that I don't have any bad feelings about this right now. I don't think. But you guys make up your own opinions.
Are you still doing the chest compression, sir?
Of course, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep going, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're getting there as quick as they can, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
I need you.
Try and take a deep breath, sir. 3, 4. 1, 3, 4.
No, bro.
1,
No,
2,
I need
3,
you.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
3, 4.
And sir, I know you said, where are you in the house?
Second floor.
Second floor? Okay.
Upstairs,
Okay, keep going. 1,
the door's
2,
open.
3, 4.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I got this. You got it, bro. Come on, baby. Come on.
Keep going, sir.
Come on.
1, 2, 3,
Oh my God, there's
4.
huge cut.
3, 4.
What the
And where's there a...
Aaron, you mentioned the lacerations, and he's just talking about them some more, so it must have been really, really, really bad.
big, a large cut,
There's
sir?
one on her breast. There's one right below her breast.
Okay, just keep going, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Keep going, sir. We have responders pulling up. Just keep going until they take over.
I need
2,
him.
3,
I need
4.
him.
1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep going. They're right outside. Just keep going until they take over, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're doing a great job, sir. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You said the front door is open, sir?
Yes.
Okay, I'll update the responders. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on going, sir. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on going, sir.
Yes. Come here.
Keep going until they take over, sir. Keep going until they take over. Are those the responders, sir?
Goodness.
Yes.
Okay, you can speak with them, sir, okay?
I found her. I need.
Did you guys hear that his first words to them was, "I found her"? That's the only thing that kind of hit me wrong about that. Happy birthday, Tony. What kind of cake are you gonna have? I'm always worried about the food. Oh my goodness, because I only get the sugary stuff on special occasions, so I'm always wondering what everybody else has. Oh. Yeah, Brat, you caught that too at the very end. That's what he said. Why would he have to? I don't know. I don't know. I guess you would want to say that because so you're not, handcuffed right away. I don't know. But I took these photos so we can look around the house a little bit. Um, so there's the garage down here, and then there is a door up here, and then there's another one in the back. Like I said, I got these off a realtor website, and the inside. I'm not going to show you guys the inside. I still feel weird, like an invasion of privacy, but we can look at the outside and see there's another door right here, and then they have a fence on the side. And this was 4:30 on a Saturday. How could they know that she was going to be by herself that day? Because supposedly Connor works in construction, and I don't believe they work on Saturdays. So how would they know that she would be alone? Blueberry cheesecake. Oh my goodness, that sounds delicious. No, no, Brat. She'll bring enough for everybody. Okay, so right before that 911 call came out, it came out that Connor had hired an attorney. And I would, innocent people, they definitely need attorneys too. So I don't know if he heard that this was going to come out, but it did say that he was speaking with investigators still. That did come out that he has been speaking with them, so that's good. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
New developments in the fate of New Jersey mother Brooke Hanlon. Authorities tell us her husband has now hired a lawyer. Investigators confirmed they have been in ongoing communication with Connor Hanlon. Brian Yanis has more on what we are learning now. Brian?
See, she said investigators confirm they have been in contact with him, but that doesn't say if he's been cooperative. They didn't say that, did they?
Sandra, when Fox News Digital asked investigators whether Connor Hanlon has been cooperative throughout the investigation of his wife's murder, authorities chose not to comment. The Morris County Prosecutor's Office Major Crimes Unit says Hanlon has been communicating with investigators, but the 36-year-old has not made any public comments since his wife, Brooke Hanlon's murder on June 6, more than a month ago. Hanlon has hired a lawyer, but he has not been accused of any wrongdoing. He has no criminal history. Brooke was stabbed to death multiple times in the couple's home on a Saturday afternoon. A dispatch log obtained by Fox shows a 911 call was made at 4:29 p.m. and was logged as a suspicious death 13 minutes later. The call was made by an unknown person at the...
Isn't that weird? I would be curious to know how many is that. I've never heard that of them saying, which it would be obvious because he said she had lacerations, but I haven't looked at too many CAD notes before. Just one other time, I believe, in the Quentin Simon. No, and I can't remember what case it was, but I just don't remember those specific words before.
Hanlon home, which is located on a fairly isolated back road. Brooke was a new mom. She just had a daughter.
See, they said isolated back road. And I don't know if I'm just comparing it to my holler too much or what, but it doesn't seem that isolated to me. It looks like it's off of a bigger road, and there is houses on both sides of it. So that was what I was telling you guys, that saying isolated seems a little, it's not that isolated.
A year ago. Brooke's sister says the child is now staying with family. The 35-year-old mom was a licensed psychotherapist who worked with children adolescents and families. The community is shocked.
Lots of people walk downtown. Lots of people walk on the hiking trails. I mean, you know, most people think the biggest threat is a bear, not, you know, somebody breaking into a house or whatever happened. So, yeah, I would like to see a resolution.
No, it's very bizarre. Like, where was the husband? Where's the baby? You know, pretty much the same questions I think everybody has.
Investigators have interviewed several family members. More than a month later, there are still no arrests, no suspects, and no known persons of interest. Anyone with information should contact police at copcall.org. Sandra?
Got it. Brian Yanis, thank you.
Bill Daly, former FBI investigator. Bill, welcome to the program, and good to see you. A bit of a time.
Bill.
Today's July 9th, all right? Go back to June 6th. On screen, emergency responders are called to Hanlon's home, Chester, New Jersey, due west of New York City, around 4:30 in the afternoon. About a week later, cause of death ruled as multiple sharp force injuries and
multiple sharp force injuries. So it seems like if it was just a random robbery, it doesn't seem like it would be on 4:30 in the afternoon on a Saturday. And it seems like that if she surprised an intruder or something, that they would just, you know, it wouldn't be that many. They'd want to do it and get out, you know. So usually they associate that with multiple to it's personal.
Manner of death, a homicide. End of June, public officials confirmed the victim was Brooke Hanlon. I don't know why it took that.
And we also can't forget that she is a counselor, and we saw that she also specialized in people that were recently released from psychiatric facilities and also court-ordered stuff. So we can't forget that it could also be a patient that she's angered.
That long, maybe there's a reason for that. Then you got a $1,000 reward out there. Go ahead and piece this together, Bill, and then I'll ask you more about the family.
Yeah, Bill, certainly for all of us kind of doing it from the armchair and kind of analysis side, there certainly seems to be kind of a mystery to this. However, I do believe that prosecutors and police have a lot more in the way of forensic evidence to be able to piece this case together. I mean, as you just said, there was this 911 call. Certainly, if that was made by someone in the home, perhaps even the husband, they can do some voice analysis comparison to see whether or not that's him who made the call, whether he was there when they arrived. A lot of questions out there, Bill, that we...
Oh, this was before the 911 call came out, and we know that it was Connor. This was before that.
We don't know. However, we do know that she was a therapist, was just mentioned by your reporter, which does kind of complicate things because, you know, as we know, in cases like this, Bill, we've discussed them in the past, when people are stabbed or assaulted very up close and personal like this, it's sometimes it's a family member or someone who knows them very personally. And in this case, because she was a therapist, it could broaden out that horizon of potential suspects to those people who she had contact with in her profession.
Okay, so Bill, the husband is James Connor Hanlon, all right? And apparently Fox Digital talked to one of the neighbors yesterday. He's got his phone number, and apparently several weeks ago, this is what the neighbor said. He said, I saw a lot of cops out there that Saturday, talking about early June now. I texted him saying, hey man, I saw the police at your house. If you guys need anything, let me know. He never responded after that. It's my understanding that we don't...
So the neighbor said he saw a lot of cops at his house, so... Whoa, you guys. Did you guys hear that thunder? If I go out, I'll fix this. So he was at least close enough where he could see that there was a lot of police at his house.
Know who made the 911 call from inside the house. I think you just referred to that. Is that normal?
Yeah, we don't. It is certainly not normal. And as we do know from 911 calls, both the voices collected as well as other data around that with regard to what phone was used, perhaps, you know, location of the phone, just in case first responders need to go to that location if they get cut off from whoever's making the call. So I would imagine that police, and going back to my supposition here, is that they have a lot more information about the call, about the caller, about the forensics at the scene that they're using. I think they've reached out to the public, Bill, just to kind of ensure that there's no other kind of dangling participles out there that they need to kind of pull together in this investigation. I'm confident with this prosecutor and the police office out there, the sheriff and the police department, that they're able to handle it. Now, they may need to draw some forensic support from the state police or even from the FBI to do some very technical analysis, whether it happens to be at the crime scene with either DNA, blood splatters, those type of things, but it may also be cellular analysis. Now, your reporter did mention that this is kind of a rural area. I did kind of a map view, a satellite map view, as well as kind of a street view virtually, and it is kind of quite remote between homes out there.
So he drove like I did on Google Maps, and I believe he is about to say that cellular analysis is actually easier in secluded areas because there's not as many to decipher. I didn't think about that before I heard it, but it does make a lot of sense.
That may actually work in the favor of understanding what phones were in the area, what movement there was in the area that could either rule in or rule out individuals.
So her young daughter is now being cared for by the family, and the police would not say whether or not that included the father. It's intriguing. Bill Daly, thanks for coming on and trying to piece it.
I have been following this case since her name was first released, so the end of June. And the first thing that I saw that I showed you guys was the Daily Mail article. And then the only channel that I've seen reporting on her case is Fox News. And so they have a lot of videos. Some things say the same, but there is another video where they talk about the 911 call that I wanted to show you guys.
One call from the husband of slain New Jersey mom Brooke Hanlon, who was found stabbed to death in her home over a month ago, with investigators still searching for answers.
I just found my wife. I don't know what's going on. CPR. I need CPR. Just instructions.
Okay, she's not breathing or conscious.
Oh my God! There's a laceration in her nose. No, please. I don't know. It takes blood. Oh, I need you here. I need you here immediately.
Sir, so she is bleeding and she's not conscious. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Joining us now to react to this Fox News contributor and former FBI Special Agent Nicole Parker. Nicole, very difficult audio to hear. What is your reaction to what we all just listened to?
It's awful. I mean, this is absolutely tragic. Brooke was a 35-year-old psychotherapist from New Jersey, and she and her husband Connor had been married for 5 years. And Carly, I know that you can appreciate this as a mother. They had one child who will celebrate their first birthday this month without the mother. It's tragic, it's heartbreaking, but I can tell you that the investigators are working very, very hard. Her body remained in the home, and unlike other cases that have been investigated, I know looking back at the Anna Walsh case where a mother, died in her home, but the body.
I watch and preview all these videos before I show them to you guys, and now I remember that there was a few things that this lady said that I was unsure of, or I was unsure of how she knew. She said that they left the body in the home, so that says a lot to me that she was way beyond help. They noticed right away, and I do think they can get more forensics that way if the medical personnel aren't in there and don't have to remove her and things like that. But now I think that it hit me that she probably knows because she looked at the CAD reports. I couldn't understand them, but she probably could. She's probably read a lot more of them than me. And there's one more thing that she says. I was wondering how she knew, but I can't remember what it was now. So
was removed. In this instance, the body remained, and that's very critical. That is a crucial piece of evidence. The medical examiner's office came back, and the manner of death was determined to be a homicide. Cause of death was multiple sharp force injuries because she had been stabbed. And I think it's interesting to look at the timing. This occurred on a Saturday afternoon. Around 4:30 p.m. is when they received the 911 call. And that's typically a day that people are not working. And so I think it's interesting to know who was there when this occurred. And I'm very curious, was the baby in the home? And I understand that the baby is now in the care of her family. Yeah. How did the baby get moved into the care of her family? And I want to know, was this premeditated? There's no person of interest named at this point, but I do think that investigators have a lot that they're working with behind the scenes. Yeah.
She said that the baby is with her family, and from what I heard, from what her dad supposedly said and what her sister said, they both said that she is just in the care of family. They didn't say if it was her family or his family. And like I told you all, the Fox News, I believe it was Fox News, got the snippet of him. I don't know whose house he's staying at. It looks like a townhouse in, they said Brighton, Massachusetts, I believe, and the baby wasn't with him. But that was the other thing that I didn't know where she got that information from.
Yeah, this took place in Chester, New Jersey. I grew up in the neighboring town. I went to high school in Chester, so I know this area very well. And the only reason I bring that up is because it's a safe and rural community. Things like this just don't happen in that area of New Jersey. So that makes this even more notable. It's not an area where crime ever occurs. What are the chances that this is, like you said, premeditated or done by somebody that knew the victim versus a random attack, especially when it comes to a fatal stabbing?
Right, those are excellent questions, and I think it's important to note that the Morris County Prosecutor's Office, they released a social media statement on social media on June 13th, and they said no further information can be released at this time to protect the integrity of the investigation. That to me tells you that they have a lot of information, and I think that Brooke's sister, absolutely devastating. Who would ever think that you would receive that most tragic phone call that your sister is dead by such a horrible, horrible means? But she has been very tight-lipped about her brother-in-law. And again, he has not been named as a suspect. He has not been named even as a person of interest, but he has hired an attorney.
Her sister and her dad both have been very tight-lipped about her brother-in-law. I want to read this to you guys again, this part that was removed from the Fox News article, and it says, speaking about the possibility of Hanlon being a suspect, Haggerty said it's a homicide and there are a lot of details that my family and I don't know and a lot that we can't comment on publicly. As much as I'd like to scream from the rooftops about how I feel, I have to protect the integrity of the case. So you guys take that for how you will. But like I said, his, we do have to always, the husband is going to be a person of interest, and the person who found her is going to be a person of interest. So that's two things. But unless he is a very good actor, I just don't know about that 911 call. It did sound very sincere to me, and heartbreaking and tragic.
But again, that is by no means an admission of guilt by any stretch of the imagination. That happens oftentimes in these cases. But investigators will be looking at the husband's behaviors pre and post offense. They will be looking at the relationship status of the couple. Were they having arguments? Were there affair allegations? What was the status of their relationship? They will be doing interviews of family members, loved ones, colleagues, looking at phones, devices, text messages, call logs, search histories online, both for him and for her, and anyone that was in her immediate sphere of influence. I do know that they had a $1,000 cash reward that is out for those that can provide information leading to an arrest. I do believe that a lot of times there is a correlation between the dollar amount of the tip reward and the need that they have for the tips.
One of the neighbors here said that they had offered a $2,000 reward for their missing dog to be found. and they're upset that the price isn't higher, but she is about to tell us that what she thinks that the reason could be.
To me, $1,000 seems quite small at this point, but let's see what the investigators can come up with. Let's hope that justice is served, and we need to find someone and put them behind bars.
Yeah, it's been about a month now, so we pray that those answers, if the investigators do have them, are made public for the family's sake, because this is truly devastating. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us on this.
Let's look back through my folder, and I think that that's about, oh, I do have this video. This is when they found Connor where he's staying at. I'm glad that, you know, if he is a victim too, I'm glad that he has family, that he's not by himself. And just imagine somebody, you could hear the click, 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 click of people taking photographs of him, which I know this is kind of hypocritical because we just watched it, but I didn't see any cuts on him or anything like people that that usually use knives. They usually injure themselves too, but it has been about 6 weeks, so I don't know if that says a whole lot or not. But I think that that's about all that I have for you guys. We can look at this timeline here that I pulled up. I made one myself, but I couldn't get to it. So she was murdered on June the 6th, 4:29. And at first the call came through as, I forget how they termed it, trouble with her heart, because we heard the dispatcher ask if he had a, what's that device called? It's for AFib, AED. Aaron, you would know. I hear them ask that all the time, and who has one of them at their home? I know a lot of times in gymnasiums and sports and stuff, they do have that on hand, but I've never heard one person say yes when it's from their home. But I guess they do have to ask that. And then Connor's that he says about the lacerations to her breast and things, and then we remember 12 minutes into the call. Well, 12 minutes later, the dispatcher writes that it's a suspicious death. And then June 13th is when they first mentioned about the death right here, and they said that it was a 35-year-old resident. They hadn't even released her name yet. Her name was released about the 26th through or the 29th. And then on July the 1st is when they talk about the $1,000 reward. And then around the 10th is when the 911 call came out. And also when it's told that he has obtained a lawyer. So, defibrillator, yes. Yes, AED. Yep. Thanks, guys. So I think that that's all that I have for you guys today about Brooke. Don't forget, you guys, to pray for Jadarius, and because today is when they're searching the landfill, and we don't know if it will be hours or days or weeks before they get answers there. We need to pray for the searchers. It's going to be so hot with all that gear that they have to wear. We need to remember them in our prayers. And we also need to remember Brooke and her baby, her 1-year-old baby, you guys, turning 1 this July. But before we go, I have a good story to tell you guys about, and I wanted to show you. let me get it here. I accidentally closed it out. Let me get back. Today, it's a good story. It seems like it's going to be sad at first, but it does turn out good. I'll tell you guys that. It is about this little dog named Apollo, and it happened in April in Florida. And somebody just goes in, this is the story when he first went missing. Somebody just picked him up out of the yard. I don't know why he was out in the yard in the first place. Let me show you guys something. That this is Apollo on the right, and this is my puppy that passed away, the only puppy I've ever had, on the left, Gizmo. And they look so much alike to me, and so I had to tell you guys about little Apollo. Bless his heart, look at him. And he's 13. He's turning 14 right now, very, very soon. And Neat says, I think them withholding their name that long is odd. I do too. I really do too. And especially because we all know that in the news cycle and she's from a very affluent place, and she's a psychotherapist. So it seems like it would be all over the news, you know? And so that was very odd to me too. But in April, he got outside and somebody scooped him up. And in Florida. So I'll show you guys that, and then, but it does end up good. I have one more little video to show you after this, but this is where it all started from.
Caught on camera, a family dog picked up and driven away, now still missing weeks later. I'm News 6's Alex Hook. I spoke to Apollo's mom from her hospital bed. She's having a baby and says that losing Apollo, the family dog of 13 years, couldn't have happened at a worse time. And now they just want him back.
He's loved, he's missed, he is a family. We've had him for 13 years.
This grainy surveillance video appears to show Apollo walking along the fence line across the street on April 25th. Josie's husband Nick says that was unusual.
Normally he's right by the front door or he's on the back lanai, and I walked around and I didn't see him.
Video shows a white car pull up and someone gets out and picks up Apollo.
Pulled over into our neighbor's driveway, picked Apollo up, put him inside, drove down their driveway, and then proceeded to ask them were they missing a dog. They said no. She pulled out.
Josie.
Oh no. I accidentally pressed the wrong button, guys. Sorry. I know, Brad. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my goodness. And then in an article, I read that Apollo is part Shih Tzu. So I was like, yep, that makes sense. That's what Gizmo was too. And I had Gizmo for 12 years. And Apollo is 13, and they got him right back before his 14th birthday. But this is what happened.
But the woman was long gone, with no way to reach her.
The part that was heartbreaking was when she just pulled off and left and didn't check any other houses to see if it may have been somebody else's dog.
They called the Marion County Sheriff's Office, but the deputy who came out didn't think that woman had meant to steal Apollo. After all, she did stop across the street and ask them if he was their dog. But now it's been weeks and they haven't been able to find him or hear from the...
She didn't mean to steal him, dude. She picked him up. And why didn't she go to the vet's office right there to get him scanned? How does he end up in New York? Literally the other side of the country.
This person that took the dog, so the family worries that they have no intention of bringing it back. And they want the case looked at again. From the hospital, Josie says she's trying to keep her stress down as she prepares to have her baby.
Please bring Apollo back. Like, no harm, no foul. Just bring him back, or we can come and get him.
The Josie family says they're now offering a reward for any info that might lead to finding Apollo. And they're not giving up hope that when they come home from the hospital with that newborn baby boy, he'll be greeted by the longtime loyal family dog.
I'm sure police have other things to worry about. Absolutely, because we see the other crimes that they deal with that they have, but so that was they took him in April, and that video was the beginning of May, and this is the conclusion to our good story. And this was the first part of June.
A Florida family captures their dog being stolen on their surveillance camera. Then they tracked him down all the way in New York. Alex Cook has this heartwarming story.
First, Apollo had to greet his cousin Milo, make sure his favorite toys were safe, check in with Josie's 1-year-old daughter who's learned to crawl since he left, perform a trick, and finally meet newborn Nicholas Jr., who was born while Apollo was away.
I can't wait for those two to get acclimated with one another.
Nicholas Josie got up at 2:30 a.m. to bring Apollo home. He flew from Orlando to New York City, where Vera's aunt handed off Apollo.
I had no doubt the whole time he'll make it back home. It's just mind-blowing that he was all the way in New York.
Yes.
So that's just like he went to New York City. He went to New York before any of us.
When Apollo
And then the lady who she didn't go to a vet in Florida, Ocala, I believe is where it was, to get him scanned. He ends up in New York and ends out on the streets of New York and gets picked up.
Apollo disappeared in April, the Josie surveillance camera caught someone in a white car stop and pick him up. The Marion County Sheriff's Office said they didn't have evidence of a crime at the time, but the Josies want to find the person who took their dog. They've been doing some sleuthing of their own and say they spotted a social media post from Long Island with a familiar fuzzy face.
We actually found a picture of Apollo from Tuesday.
That was the same day Apollo ended up at a police station in Long Island, where he was then taken to a shelter and scanned for a chip.
That is my dog. I'm 1,000% sure that is Apollo Franklin Josie.
I asked the
Apollo Franklin Josie is his name. He's got a middle name too. Oh, and then to see his little face at the shelter. Oh my goodness! Thank God that they found him before. Well, we know what happens at shelters.
Marion County Sheriff's Office, and they said if new information points to criminal intent, deputies will investigate. Now that Apollo is home, the Josies plan to call them to share what they found. For now, everyone's just happy Apollo is finally home, just in time to celebrate his upcoming 14th birthday.
We'll have a party.
Yeah.
We'll do a party.
Oh.
Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me today and listening about Brooke. And I got to show you guys this picture one more time. Out of their little eyes, they look alike too. So cute. Thank goodness him's with him family for his birthday party. Yeah, but thank you guys so very much for coming to hang out with me today. If you know anything at all can help in any way, please, my resource numbers are in my description box, and I also made a community post. And if I hear anything else, watch there for it, you guys. I'll update you there first. And if I hear anything about Jadarius, this case too, about him, I'll absolutely update you guys about that too. But now I'll play us out and show her photos one more time. And don't forget to say your prayers and take your vitamins. Okay, I love y'all. See you next time. Bye-bye.
They tell me I'm small, but I've learned small faith moves mountains. This platform might look quiet right now, but purpose doesn't need permission. Sometimes the smallest voices are trusted with the biggest stories. I don't got it all, that's why I pray. I lift the names when I can't find words to say. Small but mighty, walking by faith. If I can't change it all, I still believe change can start to crunching numbers, not loud on the screen, but every case I cover got weight in between. Faces on flyers, names people forget. I speak them out loud so they're never silenced. Yet I don't chase clout, I chase truth. Every live stream feels like a prayer in the booth. For the mom still waiting, the dad still searching, for the families hurting while the world keeps turning. They say, what can one voice read do? But I've seen hope rise when the community moves. So I show up steady, even when it's heavy, trusting God with the parts I can't carry. Got it all, that's why I pray. I lift the names when I can't find words to say. Small but mighty, walking by faith. If I can't change it all, I still believe change can start today. I don't got it all, that's why I pray. For the lost, the missing, led astray. This platform's small, but God's not contained. And we never know what love can do once it's shared. Every time I go live, I ask one thing. Send prayers up higher than algorithms, because awareness is good, but faith goes further, and prayer reaches places we never could. I don't promise answers, I promise care. A space where compassion still lives right here. Victim-focused, truth-driven, heart-led, always standing in the gap on the hardest days. If you're watching this tide, scared or alone, I hope you feel seen through the screen in your home, because God hears whispers, not just the loud, and He's working right now, even in the crowd. So we pray for the missing. Every single time we pray for the answers in God's perfect time. Small seeds planted, faith multiplied. Miracles don't need a spotlight. I don't got it all, that's why I pray. Still believing God's moving, even today. Small but mighty, called by name. And I trust what He's doing even when I can't see the way. Say a prayer for the missing. Say a prayer for their families. And before you go, say your prayers. Take your vitamins. And remember, even something small can do really big things.